For more on this, we're joined tonight by our political panel. Former Florida Democratic Party Chair Mitch Caesar is with us, and also Republican grassroots strategist Scottie Nell Hughes. Well, what I took out of that package that was just put together by yours truly is that I was absolutely floored when I saw this interview. Tim Ryan saying that Vladimir Putin wants to destroy the United States of America. Well, if that's the case, why didn't he just nuke us? Because he's got possibly better weapons than we do right now. I mean, Mitch, the Democrats, it's almost as if they're begging for a confrontation with Russia, and the best way to get favor to take on Pelosi is to be the biggest hawk you possibly can on Vladimir Putin. This is a strategy I've just never seen by the Democrats. How do you explain it?
Well, Ed, you have to remember also, Democrats are not alone. Mitch McConnell, the Republican president of the Senate today, said that he didn't think much of the Russian elections and analogized to other elections of other countries that, let's say, had strong people in charge. You also had the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee also say that they believe that, frankly, there's enough proof that Russia was meddling and maybe kind of messing around now into the 18 election. So it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans as well, honestly, onto the question of whether the president should have made the call. It's interesting, it seems to be a bipartisan commentary today from people on both sides of the aisle saying probably not.
But these very same people, I don't hear them admit, well, gosh, the United States has been involved in elections in Central America and South America and third world countries to make sure that leadership is what they want it to be. I don't hear them saying that. I mean, we're talking about a superpower, a guy who won by 76% of the vote. And Scottie, every time somebody wins an election and the United States doesn't like it, well, gosh, it's rigged. I mean, how can they come up with proof so quickly?
Absolutely, Ed, and they need to actually include Russia in that list, as the United States have spent taxpayer dollars, thousands upon thousands of taxpayer dollars, meddling in Russian elections and actually giving to groups that were supposed to protest Vladimir Putin. So let's listen to ourselves, and those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. But more importantly, let's have the criticism across the board, as this is something that we have outreach to maybe dictators or people, other country leaders that do not necessarily agree with the same sort of diplomacy that America uses, the type of government we use forever, for the past. And I hate to use the always, but Barack Obama did or President Obama did. But in this case, let's look at it. He went down to a baseball game with Raul Castro. Let's look at the Prime Minister of Cambodia or Brunei or a lot of different groups that he met with in the Middle East that are known dictators. That does not mean that we're endorsing their type of government by just a simple phone call.
Today's phone call, as I called it, somewhat of a professional courtesy, that a superpower, someone won an election, Vladimir Putin, he wins this election, so Trump calls him. But the mainstream media, CNN and especially, they're just having a conniption that we're not supposed to have any dialogue with Russia, that we're not supposed to reach out at any level. I mean, Mitch, Barack Obama, I have in my hand a story from 3/9/2012. Obama told Putin he looked forward to Putin's May visit to Camp David for the G8 summit. Putin doesn't even have a date set to meet with Trump right now, and he's getting criticized left and right. But when Obama did it, it wasn't all that bad. I don't understand the political mission of those on Capitol Hill right now. Do they want a nuclear exchange with Russia? Is that what they want?
I think what you have to look at, Ed, is clearly that there has to be dialogue. I agree with that. I view it slightly differently in the context of perhaps it could have been an opportunity to have a discussion about some other issues. Yes, he supposedly talked about Syria. I think he should have added China. He talked about North Korea. I think there may have been a few other subjects he could have brought up. You can't ignore an obvious situation simply because it's a different part of the world. What's interesting to me is a story that just broke literally minutes ago in the Washington Post, where he was given a briefing, the president was, and was told it was okay to do the call, more or less, but do not congratulate. And that was typed on bold-faced capital letters, which obviously I presume they knew he wasn't going to listen to anyway.
That's his advisors, but that's not the guy who was elected. The guy who was elected went on the campaign trail and said, wouldn't it be good if we could get along with Russia? That just doesn't play in this town anymore. And the president, I think, is showing a lot of backbone by saying, no, I don't want to handle Russia like that. I'm going to call the guy and we're going to talk about a meeting and we're going to try to settle these things out. I mean, is Putin a murderer? Is he a dictator? Does he want to rule the world? I mean, I couldn't believe what came out of Tim Ryan's mouth. Scottie, when is this president going to get any quarter whatsoever in trying to deal? I mean, they didn't even give Nixon this much crap when he went over to China back in the 70s. What about that?
Well, Ed, I would say this not just on RT, but on any interview that I would do on any media network right now. Right now, the word Russia alone is sort of what they hope to be kryptonite for this presidency, and it's turning out to be nothing more than just a bag of coal. It's not doing any damage to this president because there's no substance behind the accusation. So they're going to attach Russia to everything they can. I think a lot of it from the media's perspective is pure jealousy of what the attention that is coming out of not only this network, but the stories that it's doing. So I think, and I would say that on any of them. I think people actually, when they watch this network and they watch things that have to do with Russia, they find out that talk about a big nothing burger. They're not the accusations, and they can throw as much because their ignorance is showing when they put this kind of accusations against the country and what they're actually trying to accomplish, and simple things like a congratulatory phone call.
All right. Scottie Nell Hughes, Mitch Caesar, thanks for the conversation tonight. Appreciate it. Police are investigating.